All right, folks, before we dive down this rabbit hole together, do me a solid. Hit that subscribe button and smash the bell icon. Why? Because the story I'm about to tell you will completely flip your understanding of what truly holds power on this planet. It's not nukes, it's not aircraft carriers. The real power, the kind that has quietly shaped history in the fields and on the city streets, is much, much closer to home. Stick with me until the end, because the final reveal will change how you look at a simple rifle forever. And I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and let me know which of these weapons blows your mind the most. The secret rulers of the world, the guns that built our reality. Have you ever stopped to think about what the real symbol of power is? Is it money? Political influence? Oil? I used to think so too. But then it hit me, real, tangible, in your hands power is something one person can hold. Something that can, in a split second, change a destiny, stop an aggressor, or alas, in a life. That thing is the firearm. We've all heard of the Kalash, the legendary AK-47. We've all seen the Mosin in old war movies and the M16 in Hollywood blockbusters. They're the celebrities, the rock stars of the gun world. But what if I told you that behind their loud fame lies a whole universe of shadow workers? Weapons that don't make the front pages, but have been produced in greater numbers than all those celebrities combined. Weapons that have been silent witnesses to the settling of continents, the collapse of empires, and the quiet dramas of ordinary people. Today, we're not just going through a list. We're opening a chest of secrets from world history. We're going to talk about machines that didn't just shoot bullets, but shaped destinies. Buckle up. This is a journey into the heart of the matter. 7 shadows that changed everything. My list isn't just dry numbers. These are 7 life paths, 7 philosophies cast in steel. We'll go from the lesser known to the titan whose dominance is simply staggering. And we start with a weapon forever tied to one of the most tragic moments in American history. 7th place, Remington Model 760 and 7600. The hunter and the assassin. Country, United States of America. Production, from 1951 to 1981 and from 1981 to 2020, respectively. Total units, over 1,500,000 units across all variants. Picture America in the 50s. The war is over, the country is on the rise. Millions of veterans return from the fronts of World War II, yearning for the thrill of the hunt, for male camaraderie, for reconnecting with nature. And then the Remington Company offers them the perfect tool, the pump-action Game Master, Model 760. What does that mean? A pump-action design is reliability, simple as a hammer. It's a speed of reloading that classic bolt-action rifles can't match. With one motion of your hand, you eject the spent cartridge and chamber a fresh one. It's a weapon for dynamic hunting in thick woods, where an encounter with a deer or even a bear is decided in fractions of a second. It was incredibly popular, but fame is a double-edged sword. The rifle, created for hunting animals, on one morning in April 1968, was used to hunt a man who preached peace and equality to the world. A variant of the Remington 760, chambered for the powerful 30-06 Springfield cartridge, was used to kill Martin Luther King Jr. Therein lies the central paradox of a weapon. It is neutral. The very same mechanism can feed a family for a whole season and can, in one instant, rob a nation of its voice. The Remington 760 will forever remain in the shadow of that tragic shot. Outside the States, it's mainly known to enthusiasts, but its legacy, the Model 7600, was produced for nearly 40 years. This proves practicality and convenience always win. The economics of supply and demand in action. People vote with their dollars for what truly works. Historical context. The 30-06 Springfield cartridge is a legend in its own right. It was adopted by the U.S. Army back in 1903 and saw action through both World Wars. The rifle used against King fired the very same cartridge that U.S. soldiers used in the trenches of the First World War. It's symbolic and chilling. 6th place, Ruger Security 6. Reliability as a fetish. Country, United States of America. Production from 1972 to 1988. Total units over 1,600,000 units. The 70s. The Cold War, Vietnam, social upheaval. Crime is rising in America, and the police need a weapon that won't fail them at the critical moment. Not a luxurious, expensive Colt Python, a movie star, but a working tool. Simple, tough, and affordable. That tool became the Ruger Security 6. A revolver. 6 rounds. Double action. You can just pull the trigger, or you can cock the hammer for a more precise shot. There was nothing superfluous about it. It was like the Swiss Army knife of the firearm world. No frills, but incredibly functional. Why did it sell so many units? Economics, my dear friends. Ruger managed to offer police departments across the country, from New York to some backwater town, a reliable weapon at a competitive price. Mass production, a clever design that reduced machining costs. It was a victory of engineering thought and marketing. It wasn't just cops who bought it. Shop owners, taxi drivers, ordinary citizens for self-defense bought it. It became part of the American culture of safety in an era when violence spilled onto the streets. An interesting little-known fact. This purely American revolver was adopted by the police of prim and proper Great Britain. Is that not proof of the universality of its design? My analysis. The Security 6 is an example of how the right product at the right time in the right market creates a legend. It was discontinued not because it became bad, but because the world moved on to semi-automatic pistols with higher magazine capacities. But to this day, thousands of these revolvers still serve their owners, because true reliability has no expiration date. 5th place, Ruger M77, the heir to the Mauser. Country, United States of America. Production, from 1968 to the present day. Total units, over 2 million units. Now let's transport ourselves from the noisy cities to the endless forests and prairies of North America. Hunting here isn't just a pastime. It's a centuries-old tradition, an industry, and for many, a way to feed a family. And for this world, Ruger created the M77 rifle. What's special about it? Its soul is German. Its design is based on the great Mauser 98, the finest rifle of 2 world wars. The Germans gifted the world a brilliant bolt-action system, incredibly strong and reliable. The Americans picked it up, adapted it, and put it on an assembly line. But the main feature of the M77 is its mind-boggling variety of available cartridges. About 30 kinds, from small .22 calibers to the monstrous 458 lot, capable of stopping an African elephant. This isn't just a rifle. This is a platform, like a car that can be built in different trims, from a city hatchback to a safari SUV. Imagine an engineer sitting down at a drafting board and realizing that his creation could go to hunt marmots in Colorado, deer in Canada, and buffalo in Zimbabwe. That's monumental. It speaks to the ambition of an entire nation, a nation that saw itself as the master not only of its own continent, but of the entire world. Economic subtext. The success of the M77 is the success of a business model based on customization. Instead of making one model for one cartridge, Ruger made one base for many. This reduced design costs and allowed them to capture a huge market share. A hunter who bought an M77 in 270 Winchester knew that if he wanted to move to something more serious, he wouldn't have to change his favorite rifle. He just needed to buy a new barrel. 4th place, Marlin Model 39A, the centenarian veteran. Country, United States of America. Production, from 1891 to 2020. Total units, over 2,300,000 units. Can you imagine any mechanical device being produced without radical changes for over 120 years? A car? A television? A cell phone? Well, the Marlin Model 39A rifle could. It's a masterpiece. A lever action, the real deal, like the cowboys had in westerns. Light, elegant, with a 2 magazine under the barrel. Its cartridges, the .22 caliber, are cheap. The recoil is almost non-existent. It's the perfect weapon for teaching youngsters, for target shooting, for hunting small game, or just for the fun of plinking at cans. But why did it become such a long-lived legend? Several factors converge here. First, nostalgia. It was part of the American dream of taming the Wild West. Second, incredible practicality. The rifle could be taken apart into two pieces, making it the perfect companion on a hike in the trunk of a car. And third, it was associated with a real star. Annie Oakley, the little lady who could hit a playing card from 30 paces or extinguish a cigarette in her husband's mouth. She performed in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, and her Marlin was as much a part of the show as she was. That's marketing you can't buy. A weapon shot by the most famous female sharpshooter in the world. It sold like hotcakes. Historical snapshot. Just think, this rifle was born in a world without airplanes or radio, and it ended its journey in the era of the internet and smartphones. It survived 4 major wars, several technological revolutions, the Great Depression. It's a living artifact, a symbol of generational continuity in one single American family. A father taught his son to shoot with it. The son taught his grandson. Third place, Ruger Standard/MK Series. The Trainer Pistol. Country, United States of America. Production, from 1949 to the present day. Total units, over 3 million units. Now we descend from a vast hunting grounds to the shooting ranges and training grounds. Before us is the most mass-produced pistol on our list so far. The Ruger Standard and its endless MK family. Its philosophy is simple, cheap, tough, and foolproof. The .22 long rifle cartridge is the cheapest in the world. The recoil is a joke. It's the perfect tool for teaching a beginner proper shooting technique without scaring them with the bang and kick of a powerful service pistol. Its story began with the Japanese Nambu, which is a paradox in itself. An American legend born from the weapon of a defeated foe. But Bill Ruger, a self-taught genius, saw potential in that design and created something completely new, incredibly technological, simple to manufacture and repair. But, as with the Remington 760, this story has a dark side. Its low cost and availability made the Ruger MK one of the most frequently used pistols in crimes, including in horrific school shootings. This once again poses an uncomfortable question. Where is the line between the right to self-defense and the threat posed by the sheer accessibility of weapons? The Ruger was created for peace and sport, but it entered a distorted reality where it became a tool of pain. Economic analysis. The success of the Ruger is a capitalist classic. It found a niche, training weapons, and filled it with a perfect product. It wasn't the first, but it was the best in its price segment. Its manufacturing process was so refined that the cost remained low and the profit high. It's a business case studied in universities. Second place, the Burden Rifle. Russian spirit, American roots. Country, Russian Empire/United States of America. Production, from 1868 to 1891. Total units, over 3,200,000 units. Here we are, at the only non-American rifle in this top list. And what a rifle! The Berdanka is an entire era. It's a bridge between flintlock muskets and modern magazine-fed rifles. Its history is fantastic. The Russian Empire, having lost the Crimean War largely due to outdated weaponry, is in a panic, searching for a way to modernize its army. And it turns to the best gunsmiths in the world, the Americans Hiram Burden and Colonel Gorlov. Thus, the Berdanka was born, a hybrid of Russian ingenuity and American technological thought. It was a cutting-edge weapon for its time, first with a hinged breech block, model number 1, and then with a bolt action, model number 2, which became the standard for a century to come. Single shot, but powerful. Its 10 and 3/4 millimeter cartridge was a formidable force. The Berdanka is a weapon that went through everything with Russia. The Russo-Turkish War, the First World War, the Civil War. There is evidence that it was used to arm militias and partisans, even the Great Patriotic War, World War II. Imagine, the year 1942, near Moscow or in besieged Leningrad, and an old man or a teenager is handed a rifle manufactured back under Alexander III. This speaks to two things: The incredible durability of the weapon and the monstrous losses and hardships of that time. Historical context. The Berdanka is a symbol of 19th century globalization. American engineers, Russian military, mass production at factories in Tula, Izhevsk, Birmingham, England, and even the USA for export. It was one of the first truly international defense projects. First place, Marlin Model 60. The absolute and undisputed king. Country, United States of America. Production, from 1960 to 2020. Total units, over 11 million units. Here we are, the absolute champion. The Tyrannosaurus Rex of the .22 world. The Marlin Model 60. 11 million. Say that number out loud. That's more than the population of many countries. That's probably more than all the cars produced by some famous brand over decades. How did an ordinary, unremarkable-looking .22 caliber semi-automatic rifle achieve such an unimaginable result? The answer lies at the intersection of economics, sociology, and simple human happiness. Price. It was cheap to make and cheap to buy. Ammunition. The .22 long rifle cartridge, the cheapest in the world. Shooting it didn't break the bank. Functionality. A semi-automatic. Pull the trigger, it fires. No extra motions. Plus a huge 14 or 17-round tube magazine under the barrel. This gave a feeling of confidence and comfort. Purpose. Hunting squirrels, rabbits, crows. Target shooting. Plinking for fun. It was an accessory for the American man's leisure time. It was associated not with war, but with weekends, with bonding with a father or friends. The Model 60 was in every American garage, in the trunk of every pickup truck. It was as much a symbol of American life as apple pie or baseball. Farmers used it to control rodents. Teenagers learned responsibility with it. Fathers and sons spent time together with it. It wasn't fearsome. It wasn't glamorous. It was familiar, and therein lies its genius. It filled the ecological niche of the people's weapon so completely that no competitor could challenge it for decades. Its production was halted just 3 years ago. An entire era has closed. But those 11 million Marlins are still out there, in their safes, on wall racks, and families. They're silent witnesses to millions of targets, shattered bottles, and thousands of harvested groundhogs. This isn't just a weapon. It's a cultural code. What lies behind the numbers? So, we've made this journey. From the tragic Remington to the People's Marlin. What do all these shadow rulers have in common? They were all more than just pieces of iron. They were solutions to specific human problems. The problem of hunting, Remington, Ruger M77. The problem of self-defense and service, Ruger Security 6. The problem of training and leisure, Ruger MK, Marlin 39A, Marlin 60. The problem of national security for an entire empire, Berdanka. They became mass-produced because their creators understood the main thing. A weapon is first and foremost a product, and it must meet market demands. Affordability, reliability, simplicity. This formula, multiplied by the powerful gun culture of the USA, gave birth to such titans. The famous Kalashnikov obeys the exact same formula. It's not the most accurate, not the most ergonomic, but it is the most reliable and the cheapest in its category. And that's why it rules the world in the military sphere, while the Marlin Model 60 rules the civilian one. The history of these 7 rifles and pistols is a cross-section of 20th century history seen through a gun sight. It's the history of settling lands, crime, wars, recreation, and personal freedom. Every barrel carries not only a bullet, but also a part of the soul of its era. Well, that concludes our investigation. I hope it made you think as much as it makes me think. The world is far more complex than it seems, and the most important things often lie not on the surface, but in the shadows. Now I want to hear back from you. Write in the comments which of these 7 weapons impressed you the most. Was it the century-old Marlin 39A, the enigmatic Berdanka, or was it the absolute monster, the Marlin 60? Your opinion is priceless. And if you found this as fascinating as I did while putting this story together for you, support the channel with a subscription and a like. Your engagement is the signal that we're moving in the right direction and can continue to unravel the mysteries of our world together. Thanks for sticking with me all the way to the end.